Hours before the attempted assassination, Thomas Crooks begins his day scoping out the rally site, sources tell CNN. He arrives mid-morning and stays for 70 minutes, then drives more than an hour back home where he picks up an AR-type rifle. His father later tells authorities he thought Crooks was going to the shooting range. Crooks buys ammunition at a local gun shop and travels back to the rally site. 5:10 p.m., local police first spot Crooks. Around the same time, he's seen in this video obtained by CNN affiliate WTAE walking outside the perimeter of the rally in front of a building he would later climb. At 5:33 p.m., the motorcade for former President Donald Trump arrives as the eager crowd awaits. About 15 minutes later, Pennsylvania State Police notified the Secret Service of a suspicious person and share a photo of Crooks. Counter-snipers are alerted, according to a congressional briefing by law enforcement, but officers lose sight of him. Moments before Trump walks out, counter-snipers can be seen facing opposite directions. Trump takes the stage at 6:02 p.m. His team was not informed of the suspicious sighting. 2 minutes before the first shot, the counter-sniper on the building closest to the shooter's location adjusts his position.
Something going on. Something's going on.
On the ground outside the perimeter, people start reacting to movement on the roof of a nearby building.
Look, they're all pointing.
A uniformed officer can be seen walking toward the building.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down.
About 10 seconds later, a separate counter-sniper team on the southern building turns around 180 degrees to face the shooter's building. On the ground, people alert law enforcement.
Officer, people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people. Criminals. We have criminals.
He's on the roof. He's right here.
We have people that
Right
should not be
here, right on the roof.
Seconds later, another video shows an officer walking backwards, apparently looking up. A man approaches and points to the shooter's location. The officer turns and walks out of frame. At the same time, 2 counter-sniper teams are captured in these photos, aiming in the direction of the shooter.
Crazy.
Realizing the danger, the crowd outside the perimeter starts rushing away. On the other side of the field, a counter-sniper can be seen peering through his scope at the direction of the building where the shooter is.
What happened?
Shots are fired at 6:11 p.m. Trump is injured. The gunman is taken out seconds later. On his body, law enforcement find a remote transmitter to detonate explosives that were later discovered in his car, along with a drone, a tactical vest, and more ammo.
This map shows where the gunman was in proximity to the stage when the Trump rally was going on. It was roughly 150 yards away. That's a football field, goalpost to goalpost, and then you add another 30 yards from there. WRAL's Sean Gallagher joins us now with some perspective of what this looks like in real life. Sean?
Yeah, Deborah, you mentioned a football field. Let's use a baseball field where we're at right now. About 50 feet from the center field fence here. This is about 450 feet from home plate. And on Saturday evening, this is how far away a man was with an AR-15 from the former president of the United States.
We've got our safety here, magazine release here, 30-round capacity, charging handle.
Inside Fuquay Gun, Clay Osley can tell you pretty much anything about any of the 10,000 guns they keep in stock.
And when we start talking about firearms that are great for beginners, this is absolutely one of them.
Thomas Matthew Crooks was able to get 148 yards away from former President Trump with this type of gun. Mind-boggling for Osley.
Your very experienced shooters can stretch on out with a 5.56 to several hundred yards. So 150 yards really isn't that far.
Osley took an unloaded rifle with a scope and set up a target about 150 yards away to give us a better idea of what this looks like. Here's what that looks like with our camera and then through the scope.
But I'd say the average person, within an hour, I could have you at 100 yards hitting a softball every shot.
We still don't know how Crooks got this gun, whether it was his or his parents', but federal law allows for Crooks to own this type of gun with a background check. And Osley says it's not unreasonable to believe, even at 20 years old, he could have been proficient at using it.
So you come down here to some of our more rural counties, Harnett County, Chatham County, 20-year-olds there. I'm going to say a good portion of them could take that AR-15 and at 150 yards easily hit a target with no problem.
As a young man, I started hunting when I was 12 years old.
With the 4-H program, Mike Yoder says kids start learning how to handle firearms as young as 8 years old, usually to get into hunting or target shooting.
We believe that we're raising young people who will be responsible and who will help ensure the safety of our society rather than, cause issues like we've seen in this situation.
And 4-H tells me that they have a see something, say something policy for all of their students, not only if somebody is mishandling a firearm, but even if they're speaking about using one in an irresponsible or unhealthy way. They want them to alert an adult so they can make sure nothing bad happens. Sean Gallagher, WRAL News, Wake County.